Good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day. And oftentimes our words of wisdom within the course of a day or a couple of weeks, whatever, will mirror each other with a common theme. Today is no different. So we have a card that will support our theme. Hello, Nancy. Welcome. Glad you are here. So some of the things that I say today may be a little repetitive for some of the things I've said earlier this week. But again, there's a reason why things keep presenting themselves. Good morning, Joe Neal. Welcome. Glad you are here. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Angie. Glad you're here. So today's message, and again, those of you who are on here, there's a reason you're here. There's a part of this message that's meant for you. Good morning, Beth. Welcome. Glad you're here. Yeah, let's see how this resonates for you, because it certainly made sense to me. So let us start with some breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Next breath a little deeper, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Next breath, healing in, bringing in healing golden light. Hold. Exhaling it through your entire body. Filling yourself up with healing golden light. In through the nose. And on the exhale, the healing golden breath moving out anything that no longer serves you. And just keep that cleansing breath going. Breathing in healing golden light, exhaling anything that no longer serves you. You might imagine little trapdoors in the bottom of your feet opening up and just dumping whatever is no longer in service to you and those around you into Mother Earth, who is a great transformer. Takes negative energy and transforms it into something useful. Again, going back to physics, things move into, through, and out of form, and things can be transmuted into something useful. It's kind of like composting our negative emotions, allowing them to flow out. And today's card fits right in with that. So, good morning, Barb. Glad you're here. Welcome. We have the Earth Magic deck from Stephen D. Farmer. Good morning, Gwen. Welcome, welcome. And we'll take a peek at Mother Earth here, holding all of her critters. Looking a little fierce there, isn't she? Probably useful at this point in time. So our card for today, when it popped up, I saw the picture and went, oh yeah, this makes total sense. Iceberg, submerged. Submerged. So let's take a breath. Let it go. Opening to receiving whatever part of this message is here for you. Making some discernments about how you might put this information into practice today and beyond. And let's see where we go. So the first part is talking literally about the iceberg itself, and then the parallel it runs to us living our lives. Good morning, Mel. Welcome. Glad you're here. And Janine, good morning, good morning. So let me show you the card again in case you didn't see it. Iceberg, submerged. All right. Up to 90% of an iceberg's body is below the surface. So look at these massive tops. Imagine how massive what's underneath, right? And I use that analogy, the iceberg analogy, with regard to our consciousness. That our conscious mind is that 5 to 10% above the surface of the water. And our subconscious mind is that 90 to 95% that's below the surface. So we need ways, I use energy-based methods for tapping into that, but we need ways to communicate with what's below the surface, because it drives most of our behavior, even though we like to think we're in control, right? So up to 90% of an iceberg's body is below the surface, deeply submerged in the bosom of Grandmother Ocean. Yet Grandmother allows considerable freedom for her enormous children, permitting them to move about as dictated by the currents and their own momentum. Having broken off from a glacier or ice shelf, they float along the sea, much to the detriment of vessels that attempt to traverse their passageways. Most of us have heard stories of ill-fated ships that have had tragic encounters with these ice mountains. Although the topmost portion of an iceberg can easily be seen, there's still a massive amount of its body below the surface, which may be difficult to detect. And that which remains unseen can fool us and perhaps even be dangerous and damaging. So now here's the part where it talks about how is this relevant to us. Whatever you suppress or deny and attempt to keep out of conscious awareness will show up somewhere and somehow. Ain't it the truth? Ain't it the truth? These are your shadow aspects. So we've been talking about shadow, right? And this massive awakening and up-leveling that we're doing as a planet and as a people, part of that is exposing the shadow selves and addressing them, freeing ourselves from that submerged, stuck energy, 3D energy, and lifting up into 5D. At one time, you put them out of your consciousness for good reason, yet they remain contained by shame and guilt. Now, let me articulate the difference I see, shame versus guilt. Guilt to me sometimes can be a useful thing. Guilt is, I did something wrong. Shame is, you take it on, you own it. I am wrong. I did something bad versus I am bad. So guilt can be a useful thing, because if guilt pops up prior to doing something stupid and it keeps you from doing that stupid thing, that's a useful tool. Shame, on the other hand, I don't ever find that useful. Believing that you're bad, you're wrong, not helpful, not helpful. So even the shame and guilt can be portals to access this shadow stuff that really needs to be addressed. We have opportunity now. How many of us have had something come up recently where you're going, I thought I dealt with that. Here it is again. You're not doing the same work with it this time around. Again, I go back to that river analogy. You can't stand in the same river twice. Why? Because it's different water molecules at that point in time. And you also have changed. I don't care how short a time span it's been since you stood in that water previously. You're not the same person. You have changed. Maybe subtly, maybe a little bit, but you have changed. Okay, so let's go back here. Sometimes, we do this often, sometimes these submerged aspects of yourself are projected onto others so that they mirror those denied and suppressed parts of yourself. And you may even harshly judge these characteristics when they are exhibited. So, a very simple tool is thinking to yourself, who out there irritates me? We all have people who irritate us, right? Who out there irritates me? And what about them irritates me? And how is that a part of me? How is that a shadow part of me? So I'll give you one of mine, okay? As a kid, I was hyperkinetic. I was all over. I had a big mouth. I was like Bonnie Busy Bee, right? And I could tell my mother was exhausted, and that behavior drove her nuts. Well, as a sensitive little kid, I could pick up, I'm an annoyance to my mother, okay? So a bunch of that stuff got submerged. Okay, I'll be the good girl. I'll behave, But sitting in my desk at school, because I had ADHD, the desk almost vibrated. It was like, I can't sit still, bounce my leg. And the teacher would go, Bonnie, hold still, Bonnie, hold still. What a torment, trying to hold still when your whole nervous system is move. So, a bunch of that stuff got suppressed. Now when I see someone who's loud and boisterous, and I'm going to put a word on it, obnoxious, it's hard not to pop into judgment. Why? Because I still have that little kid self suppressed, where it wasn't okay to be effusive and joyful and bouncing around and carrying on and whatever. Dramatic, as my mother would say. That wasn't valued. That wasn't okay. So again, the process you can use is, what annoys me about other people? Why does it annoy me? How is that a reflection of a suppressed part of myself? And now here, the next part of this guidance will help you know, and then what do I do? Now is the time to allow these elements to surface and embrace them. These may make up some sort of self-expression, a secret dream you wish to accomplish, or even uglier aspects that are difficult to acknowledge or accept. But they are you. They are us. They are me. You know, that bank off the walls, go Mach 3 with my hair on fire, that is the true me. Depression was the tool that I used to suppress that. If I'm depressed, I'm not banking off the walls. I'm not all excited. I'm not overwhelming to other people. But I'm depressed. Yeah, not going to go there anymore. If I overwhelm somebody, they can feel free to move away from me. So, let's see here. Whatever you have submerged deep inside you, this is your opportunity to pay attention to those things and welcome them to the family called you. So how do we bring this in? How do we embrace this? How do we become fully ourselves? As my friend Deb would say, warts and all. Warts and all. Even the pieces of ourselves that are genuine, authentic, but they may irritate others. So be it. So be it. We're not meant to be a sanitized version of ourselves, whitewashed into neutrality to hopefully not irritate other people. You know, not taking up any space. I talked about that yesterday. Not taking up space. Take up space. Take up space. I'm glad it's interesting, Barb. Glad that's interesting. So if you want to do some work with that, put some things in the feed. You know, I'm irritated by people who... What irritates me about that is how that's reflected in me is how I'm going to reclaim that part of myself is, and working through that process. It's sometimes even very helpful to view that part of yourself as a child. So I can see that hyperkinetic little 4-year-old, 6-year-old, etc. She's darn cute. She's darn cute. She deserves to be able to run around like a ninny. If that's what she wants to do, more power to her. Turn her loose in the backyard, let her, I remember standing on the slide, a regular, the swing sets, standing on the slide, yelling through the tube because it made this great booming sound on the other end. I'm sure the neighbors were thrilled. Nonetheless, let her yell. Let her dance, let her yell, let her scream, let her twirl till she falls down and giggles. Find those children. Find the child selves within that you were smart enough to realize someone didn't appreciate, and you squelched it. Time to unsquelch, desquelch, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Embrace them. Bring them home to you. Bring them home to you. They're part of your inner family. Invite them home. So, this is going to be some interesting stuff today, right? Take the time to do some of this. Your mind is likely let me think, it'll come to me. The conditioned self, the part of you that plays nice in the sandbox, the part of you that doesn't say what you're really thinking. That part of you is going to go, no, just leave that all buried. Leave that all buried. That's okay. She can stay there in the dark. No, go retrieve her. Go retrieve her. All right? So, have an awesome Thursday. If you want to private message me about what you're thinking about this, feel free. Feel free. We can have a conversation about this. But that is your mission for today. Bring home the children that have been ostracized. Those parts of yourself that weren't acceptable to someone back then, and so you very smartly hid them away. Time to bring them home. See you again tomorrow. Remember, you are capable of far more than you think you are. Have a good day. Bye-bye.